Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cuccinelli, under your leadership, USCIS has actually bragged about systematically restricting legal immigration. And I think it's important for us all to be clear about what you have been aiming to accomplish. My constituents, Americans across the country, aren't fooled by this administration's specious attempts to distinguish between documented and undocumented immigration. You and Mr. Trump don't want anyone who looks or talks differently than Caucasian Americans to be allowed into this country.
That's false.
I'm sorry. Please don't interrupt me, and I'd like the time added
That's
back.
defamatory.
Excuse me. There's nothing defamatory about it. And
The gentlelady controls the time, and the witness will get a chance to respond.
Thank you very much. You want to block all immigration and make life harder for immigrants, and you have demonstrated that you will pursue this heinous white supremacist ideology at all costs, even if it means making critically ill children your collateral damage in the process. And this goes to a comprehensive pattern of harm at USCIS under your leadership. In August, you announced the administration's new public charge rule, for example, which would deny legal status to immigrants who use social services. Mr. Cuccinelli, has USCIS done any analysis of how many children may stop receiving critical services due to fear of losing legal status under this rule? And I'd like you to answer that question, please.
After declaring that I am not a white supremacist, as you alluded,
you have had white supremacist
nor is the
policies.
president.
Okay. Facts matter.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Right.
they do. Truth
Which is why
matters.
I'm stating them here today.
Yes, no,
Please
you
answer the
certainly
question.
are not.
Please answer the question. How many
you're certainly
children?
cloaked in legislative
How many
privilege,
children
but that
may stop
means
receiving,
you can get away with
reclaiming
not
my
telling
time?
the truth.
How many children may stop receiving critical services due to fear of losing legal status under this rule? Yanking
You're
social
asking
services.
about public charge.
That's right.
I don't have that information in front of me.
Does anyone behind you have the information?
We came to talk about deferred action today.
I'm able to ask any question I'd like in your jurisdiction. And
That's
so,
fine, but I came
you have a
prepared
policy.
to
You're the
accommodate
head,
what this
Mr. Cuccinelli,
subcommittee
you are
wants.
reclaiming my time. You are the head of USCIS, and you're going to tell me that you established a policy on the public charge rule, and you don't know how many children off the top of your head it affected? Did you not think it through before you insisted that
That
would be the
rule's
new policy?
1,000 pages long, ma'am.
It's a pretty, so, when you're talking about affecting children, one would think that someone in your position, if you were going to establish such a heinous policy with such far and significant reach and potentially harm thousands of children, that you would know how many children it would affect. You don't know?
What you refer to as heinous policy is a 1996
Okay, I'm not asking
law
you for commentary on the policy.
on a wildly bipartisan basis.
Okay, but you have implemented a policy that yanks social services and denies the ability of children
nothing.
legal status to immigrate here if they are going to use social services. In fact, advocates have reported that immigrant families are terrified and that some have already dropped their children from essential programs like Medicaid and temporary assistance for needy families. When you announced this rule, you were asked whether it was consistent with the poem under the Statue of Liberty, which reads, quote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free." And in response, you said the poem was only referring to people coming from Europe, and people coming from Europe would not be a public charge. Do you think our immigrants...
I did not say that.
That is what you said.
That is not what I said.
You think, certainly it was the implication.
No, it's what you would like to broadcast.
No,
but that is
I
absolutely
I heard you say it. I heard you defend it, and I want to know whether you think our immigration policies should treat immigrants from Europe differently from other immigrants from other parts of the world. And is the purpose of... You don't think so?
Correct.
Well, so then... I'm not sure why you made that statement, because
I
it certainly
did
made it seem
you,
like
you
did.
appended
You said the
your
poem,
own piece to the end of it.
You said the poem was only referring to people coming from Europe. There's no doubt about that.
You added to the end of
and
that
the
statement.
implication was that people from Europe would not likely to be a public charge.
No, it was not.
Were you attempting to shut down the American dream for immigrants who may not be rich or white with this policy?
No.
Okay,
obviously.
we are the wealthiest country on earth. Surely we can live up to the spirit of Lady Liberty and open our arms to immigrant families who just want to make a better life for their children and not yank the rug out from under them as you have with this heinous public charge policy and the intimidation tactics that you've used to make sure that people understand that they're not welcome here if they're brown or if they need help.
That's
Thank you.
false.
I yield back the balance of my time.
That is utterly false.
It is not false.
The
and
lady
time
is
not
yielded
yours.
back.
The time is not yours.
With the law back to 1640.
Thank you. I yield back the balance
The lady
of
is
my
yielded
time,
back
and the
her time.
witness does
Turning
not
over-
have the floor.